Imagine being the mother of the future Queen of the United Kingdom, yet spending years being judged, criticized, and whispered about by people who believed you simply didn't belong. This is the fascinating story of Carole Middleton, a woman whose determination, intelligence, and quiet ambition helped shape one of the most famous families in the world. Long before cameras followed every move of the Princess of Wales, Carole Middleton was living a life that looked nothing like royalty. She wasn't born into aristocracy. She didn't inherit grand estates or centuries-old titles. Instead, she built her future through hard work, careful planning, and an unwavering belief in her family. Born Carole Elizabeth Goldsmith in Berkshire, England, she came from a working-class background. Her father worked as a builder and decorator, while her mother worked in retail. They lived an ordinary life, one far removed from the glamorous circles of Britain's elite. Yet those who knew Carole often described her as confident, organized, and incredibly driven. As a young woman, Carole worked as a flight attendant for British Airways. It was there that she met Michael Middleton, a man whose family had connections to Britain's upper middle class. Their romance blossomed, and they married in 1980. Together, they dreamed of creating a stable, happy life for their future children. But dreams require sacrifices. Rather than settling for an ordinary career, Carole decided to take a huge risk. She noticed there weren't many stylish and affordable party supplies available for parents planning children's birthdays. Instead of complaining about the problem, she decided to solve it. Working from home, she started a small mail-order business called Party Pieces. At first, it was just a simple idea with a few catalogs and plenty of determination. Carole packed orders herself, answered customer calls, and handled every detail of the business. She worked long hours while raising her 3 children, Catherine, Pippa, and James. Few people realized that this small family business would eventually become a multi-million-pound company. More importantly, it gave the Middleton family financial independence. They weren't members of the aristocracy, but they could now afford excellent schools and opportunities for their children. Carole believed education was one of the greatest investments a parent could make. She encouraged discipline, confidence, and good manners while creating a close-knit family environment. Friends often described the Middleton home as warm, welcoming, and full of laughter. When Catherine Middleton enrolled at the University of St Andrews in Scotland, nobody could have predicted that history was about to change. It was there that she met Prince William. Their relationship didn't become serious overnight. Like many young couples, they started as friends before romance developed naturally. Yet as soon as the media discovered the relationship, everything changed. Suddenly, journalists weren't only interested in Catherine, they wanted to know everything about her family. Every detail of Carole Middleton's life was examined under a microscope. Newspapers searched for stories about her childhood, her career, her business, and even her social life. Some members of Britain's traditional upper class viewed the Middletons as outsiders. They weren't part of the old aristocracy. They had earned their success through business rather than inheritance. For some critics, that alone was enough reason to look down on them. Tabloids began publishing harsh nicknames and unfair stories. Some questioned whether Carole was too ambitious. Others claimed she was carefully planning her daughter's future. Rumours spread that she was determined to see Catherine marry into the royal family, but there has never been credible evidence that Carole orchestrated such a plan. Instead, people close to the family consistently described her as protective, practical, and deeply supportive of her children. As William and Catherine's relationship grew stronger, the pressure intensified. Every public appearance sparked fresh headlines. Every family gathering attracted photographers. Privacy became almost impossible. Despite the constant attention, Carole rarely responded publicly. She avoided interviews, refused to fuel gossip, and focused on supporting her family behind the scenes. That quiet approach became one of her defining characteristics. When Prince William and Catherine briefly separated in 2007, many assumed their relationship was over. The media exploded with speculation. Yet through one of the most difficult periods of Catherine's life, Carole remained a steady source of encouragement. Instead of speaking to reporters, she simply stood beside her daughter. Family vacations, private conversations, and emotional support helped Catherine navigate enormous public pressure. Eventually, William and Catherine reunited, proving many critics wrong. Then came the engagement that captured the world's attention. Millions celebrated the announcement, but behind the scenes, whispers continued. Some commentators questioned whether a self-made business family truly belonged beside one of the oldest royal institutions in the world. These attitudes reflected long-standing class divisions within British society, although Britain had changed dramatically over the decades. Certain traditions and prejudices still existed. For some people, birth mattered more than achievement. Yet Carole Middleton represented something different. She represented modern Britain, a country where determination and entrepreneurship could open doors once reserved only for inherited privilege. As preparations for the royal wedding began, every detail became international news. Designers, guest lists, traditions, and ceremonies dominated headlines. Even Carole's outfits, facial expressions, and body language were analyzed by newspapers around the world. Many observers believed she handled the extraordinary attention with remarkable composure. Rather than seeking the spotlight, she appeared focused on her daughter's happiness during one of the biggest moments of her life. Whether admired or criticized, one thing had become undeniable. The woman once dismissed as an outsider was now the mother of Britain's future queen. And that transformation would forever change how the royal family was viewed by millions of people around the world. The royal wedding on April 29, 2011, was watched by hundreds of millions of people across the globe. Streets in London were packed with cheering crowds. Television networks broadcast every moment live, and the world seemed captivated by a modern fairy tale. But while Prince William and Catherine Middleton stood at the centre of attention, another figure quietly attracted enormous interest: Carole Middleton. For years, critics had questioned whether she was the right kind of person to become connected to the royal family. Yet on the day of the wedding, Carole carried herself with remarkable calm and elegance. She smiled warmly, greeted guests with confidence, and appeared completely focused on supporting her daughter. Many royal commentators later noted that she displayed a quiet dignity under immense public scrutiny. Instead of trying to outshine anyone or seek media attention, she remained composed, allowing the day to belong entirely to William and Catherine. Still, the whispers didn't disappear. Some tabloids continued to suggest that parts of Britain's establishment had never fully accepted the Middleton family. Stories circulated claiming that some members of the aristocracy viewed the Middletons as new money, rather than traditional high society. Whether these stories were exaggerated or based on isolated opinions, they fueled a narrative that fascinated the public. The idea that the palace never wanted her at the wedding became one of those dramatic headlines that spread quickly. In reality, there has never been verified evidence that Buckingham Palace attempted to prevent Carole Middleton from attending her daughter's wedding. As the bride's mother, her presence was not only expected but essential. However, reports over the years have suggested that some people within royal circles were initially cautious about how a self-made family would fit into centuries-old traditions. This distinction is important because history is often more complicated than sensational headlines suggest. After the wedding, Carole faced a new challenge. Her daughter was no longer simply Catherine Middleton. She had become Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, and later the Princess of Wales. Every family gathering, every birthday celebration, and every public appearance now carried worldwide interest. Unlike many relatives of famous public figures, Carole managed to stay remarkably private. She continued living much of her life away from the spotlight, choosing family over celebrity. Friends often described her as someone who valued normal routines despite the extraordinary circumstances surrounding her children. She remained deeply involved in the lives of all three of her children. James Middleton has openly spoken about his struggles with mental health, and he has publicly credited his family's unwavering support, especially his parents, for helping him through difficult times. Their close family bond became one of the qualities many people admired most. Pippa Middleton also attracted enormous media attention after the royal wedding. Almost overnight, she became one of the most photographed women in Britain. Through it all, Carole continued encouraging her children to maintain as much normality as possible despite intense public interest. Perhaps one of Carole's greatest strengths has been understanding when to remain silent. In an age where many people respond instantly to criticism on social media or through interviews, she rarely comments publicly on rumors or speculation. That restraint has earned respect from many royal observers. As Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis were born, Carole embraced another role, that of grandmother. Reports from reputable royal correspondents have often described her as a loving and active grandmother who spends significant time with the children whenever possible, while details of private family life remain appropriately confidential. It is widely believed that William and Catherine value the close relationship their children have with the Middleton family. This balance has become increasingly important for the Prince and Princess of Wales. While royal traditions remain central to their public roles, they have also emphasized creating a stable and loving home for their children. Many observers believe the Middleton family's influence has contributed to this modern parenting approach. Carole's business journey also continued attracting attention. Party Pieces, the company she built from a simple kitchen table idea, became one of Britain's best known party supply businesses. Its success was frequently highlighted as an example of entrepreneurship and determination. Like many businesses, however, it also faced changing market conditions. Increased competition, shifting consumer habits, and economic pressures created significant challenges. In later years, the company encountered financial difficulties, reminding everyone that even successful businesses can struggle in changing times. For Carole, this chapter reflected something she had demonstrated throughout her life: resilience. Success had never come easily, and neither did setbacks define her. Meanwhile, public opinion gradually evolved. The woman once criticized for lacking aristocratic roots was increasingly viewed as a devoted mother who had raised confident, educated, and compassionate children. Many people admired the Middleton family's closeness, especially compared with the often complicated history of royal family relationships. Royal experts have frequently observed that Catherine's calm personality, practical approach, and strong sense of family appear to reflect the environment in which she was raised. While every individual shapes their own path, few would deny that parents play an important role in developing those qualities. As years passed, many of the early criticisms directed toward Carole seemed to lose their power. Instead of being remembered as an outsider trying to enter royal society, she increasingly became recognized as someone who succeeded on her own merits long before her daughter met Prince William. Yet public fascination never disappeared. People continued asking the same questions. What was Carole really like behind closed doors? How much influence did she have within the family? Did she ever imagine that her ordinary life would transform into one connected forever with British history? Those answers remain largely private because Carole has consistently protected her family's personal life, and perhaps that is precisely why she continues to intrigue so many people. In a world where fame often encourages oversharing, her discretion has become one of her most defining characteristics. Sometimes the most powerful stories are not told through interviews or dramatic public statements. Sometimes they are revealed through years of quiet consistency, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the people who matter most. In the end, Carole Middleton's story is far more powerful than the headlines that surrounded her for years. It isn't simply the story of a woman connected to royalty. It is the story of determination, resilience, and the belief that your background does not have to define your future. For decades, Britain has been known for its traditions, its royal customs, and its class system. Entering that world without an aristocratic title was never going to be easy. Every step Carole took was examined. Every decision was questioned. Every success was sometimes viewed with suspicion rather than admiration. Yet despite the criticism, she never allowed public opinion to shape her identity. She focused on what mattered most, her family. While newspapers debated whether she belonged among royalty, Carole was doing what millions of mothers around the world do every day, encouraging her children, supporting them through difficult moments, celebrating their achievements, and standing beside them when life became overwhelming. Perhaps that is why so many people eventually began to respect her. She didn't try to become famous. She didn't chase television interviews. She didn't write explosive memoirs. She didn't publicly criticize those who judged her. Instead, she let her actions speak louder than the rumors. When Catherine became one of the most admired members of the royal family, many people started asking an important question. What kind of home produces someone so calm under pressure? Friends and people who have known the Middleton family for years often describe a household built on stability, kindness, good manners, and strong family values. While no family is perfect, those qualities appear to have played an important role in shaping the Princess of Wales. Of course, history is rarely as simple as internet headlines suggest. You'll often see dramatic titles claiming that the palace never wanted Carole Middleton at the wedding. Such statements make for attention-grabbing stories, but there is no verified evidence that Buckingham Palace tried to exclude her from her daughter's wedding. As Catherine's mother, Carole had an important and respected role on one of the biggest days in modern royal history. The reality is more interesting than the myth. She represented something that had once seemed almost impossible, a self-made family becoming part of Britain's royal story. Over time, public attitudes changed. Many who once criticized the Middletons later praised their close family relationships and admired the way they stayed grounded despite worldwide attention. Even today, Carole continues to avoid unnecessary publicity. She rarely gives interviews, rarely comments on rumors, and rarely seeks the spotlight. In a world where many people measure success by followers, headlines, and constant attention, her quiet approach feels remarkably different. Maybe that is her greatest strength. She understands that true influence doesn't always require the loudest voice. Sometimes it comes from consistency. Sometimes it comes from sacrifice. Sometimes it comes from simply being there for the people you love. Her journey reminds us that success isn't reserved for those born into privilege. It can belong to ordinary people willing to work hard, take risks, and refuse to give up when others doubt them. Whether you admire the royal family or simply enjoy remarkable life stories, Carole Middleton's journey offers an important lesson. Never underestimate the power of perseverance. Never assume that humble beginnings limit extraordinary achievements. And never forget that behind many successful people stands someone who believed in them long before the world did. History often remembers kings, queens, princes, and princesses, but sometimes the quietest figures leave the deepest mark. Carole Middleton may never wear a crown. She may never sit on a throne. Yet her influence can be seen in the confidence, strength, and character of the family she helped build. That is a legacy no title can replace. As time moves forward, debates about royalty will continue, opinions will change, and new headlines will appear. But one thing is certain. Carole Middleton's journey from an ordinary working-class girl to the mother of the future queen is one of the most remarkable personal stories connected to the modern British monarchy. And perhaps the greatest surprise of all is that she achieved it without trying to become the center of attention. Sometimes, the people who change history are the ones who never ask history to notice them. If you enjoyed this story and want more fascinating documentaries about the royal family, famous historical figures, and untold stories from around the world, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next video. Share this video with your friends and tell us in the comments, do you think Carole Middleton changed the image of the British royal family forever? Or do you believe she was simply a devoted mother supporting her daughter? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next video.